Yerrr, it's your boy Johns, my co-host Bree, and welcome to a brand new episode of another City Opinion podcast. Yes, guys, we are back with a brand new episode. So, it was a pretty much slow news week this week.
It was quiet.
It was quiet. It was one of them quiet weeks, and then there was news stuff, but it wasn't nothing I feel like carry conversation, minus a few things that held some more weight than others. But from the other weeks previously, very slow, very slow. So
I missed the drama this
week. Yeah, I guess everybody's a little drama, controversy. It just becomes a little entertainment, But so what we're going to start off with is a case that went, you could say went viral like maybe a month and a half ago, something along the lines of that. I think it's all started back in August, like mid-August or August. The YouTube girl, her name is Gabby Pacio. I don't know if I'm messing up her last name. I could be pronouncing it wrong. But unfortunately, she was doing a YouTube. She was a YouTube star who went on a cross-country road trip for her YouTube series with her fiance or boyfriend, boyfriend. And after like a few days, he came back from the trip, but she didn't come back from the trip. And and she was missing. I'm not gonna do a deep dive on this because there's a lot of facts still coming in. It's a lot of questions.
Right. I think the only fact that you need to throw in there was that they were caught in a domestic violence where the cops were called. The cops went to the site. She looked like she was in distress, but the cops ended up leaving, and then a couple of days later, she came up missing.
Yeah, he came back home from the trip and she didn't return. And then unfortunately, within a few weeks from that, her remains were found and it became official that she was murdered. Right. And then the person of interest was able to disappear in the night. But with that, last week, they said they looked in the area where they looked before. Supposedly, they looked in the area where they looked before, but this time they found some human remains that said to be his remains. But then I seen a report today talking about the first autopsy is inconclusive, so they can't even say for sure it's his remains. So that's why I'm not gonna go into a deep dive with this whole topic. Because there's a lot of still, factors that's coming in and it's going to be updated within time. I would like to touch back on this topic when it's all the facts is out and you can really.
Yeah, the only problem I had, Johnny, was a few things, right? So, number one is that the cops basically saw distress and left this young girl.
I think they let her go separately and they gave him a ride back. In the police car. I think he got a ride back to the motel or something, or to a motel.
Here's my problem. I just feel like when you see someone in distress, you you should do as police officers. There should be some protocol. I'm pretty sure there's a protocol. Two is the attention the story got, even though it was so sad and may she rest in peace. Mm-hmm. But the thing I loved, the second thing was once her parents found out she was dead, they came and they were told, we're going to give other people the attention that she got. So basically, people of color who go missing, young girls, who don't get the media attention that this young lady got.
Because this case did go viral. It was everywhere. Everyone
right, and we have thousands and thousands of young Black girls go missing every day, and they don't get the media attention that it deserves. And I love that her family said, well, now we're going to give them the attention that even though they are mourning themselves, because that is their child, they decided to take it upon themselves to give the media, to tell the media, like, we are going to give those girls who are missing the same media coverage you gave our child. And I think that was a very powerful and very beautiful statement.
It was dope because yeah, there's a lot of people, obviously, her race. A lot of people of, color or minority won't get the same, attention. Not to take away from her situation because it's still fucked up. She lost a leg, you know, but
Right.
she still
I'm
lost a
just
leg.
saying. Yes, we lost a life, but I think it's very important that we give everybody the
Right,
same
equal,
attention.
yeah, equal amount of attention.
Right.
Yeah. And it's
Because
another
that could
crazy
save
part.
that could save anybody's life. That media attention can save any female's life, any male and female, anybody who's missing.
Child,
That can
anyone who went missing's life. Because
right.
but it's another crazy part is in looking for her remains. I know it's not connected, but it's just it's crazy how other bodies, other remains are found in looking for her. So it's like
Right.
a whole bunch of other stuff was found. It's like, damn,
Right.
there was a couple of people's remains that was found in the search for her.
Right.
Recipes to all of them. I don't know all the names, but recipes to all of them. But I just feel like this whole case looks like crazy, and then obviously the person's interest parents has been like from what I've read and stuff like that. They've been moving a little shaky. They not really, moving a little funny. So it's like, what? How much do they know about the whole situation?
Right.
I'm pretty sure. I'm not gonna lie. When I found like when I was in the beginning when it was all coming thing when they found her and then they was looking for him, they said they couldn't find him. My first thought was like, nah, he probably offed himself. Probably offed himself, and then now I
Right.
said he dead. But then with they supposedly find his remains, and then the autopsy's inconclusive. I don't know if he went that route or he's literally in hiding. I'm not saying it's impossible with all the media coverage and whatnot, but he could literally be in hiding. That's why maybe when this is all said and done and everything's like legit confirmed, we'll touch back on this and do much more of a deep dive because there's
Right.
still a lot of factors and facts that's going to change. It's a fact now, but it might not be a fact in like the next weeks, couple of months. So I don't want to get too much into it, but I just feel like this is going to be an interesting case and
Right.
a lot of funny stuff happening taking place within this case. But God rest her soul. God rest the souls of the remains that were also found in the search for her. And I say, I think he escaped. If it turns out to be his remains and he didn't, survive, I guess I would say he escaped justice. The parents deserve better, but it's just a fucked up situation, and we'll tune back into it when more information and more stuff could be talked about, and we could really break down like the whole timeline from when it started and everything else. So once we get that, we'll give you more deep dive of that situation. But moving on, another interesting thing, which is also crazy, Alec Baldwin, if you don't know, is an actor. Is his family acts. He has a few brothers that also act. He was on the set of one of his current movies he's working on. And I guess he was doing a scene where he had a gun. They gave him a prop gun, and the prop gun happened to have a live round. It goes off, kills a person, and injures the director, which is also, a crazy situation because, like, damn, they they really messed up that bad. How do you put a live round in a prop gun? You know, I understand accidents happen, but
So they still doing an investigation,
investigation.
right? But they saying that basically his the director handed him the gun. His secretary basically handed him the gun and said, "Here, there's no live ammo in it." And he went to go test it out, and as he went to go test it out, it just went off. And I personally I don't understand. Like, can't you take like a fake gun and just spray paint it black? I remember when they used to do that
I think they want it
I
to
don't.
be legitimized. It's crazy that prop guns can actually shoot a live round, you know?
Right. If you ever watched the movie This Is the End, the part where they have like a prop gun and it doesn't go off. Like, I don't understand about these sets using real guns. To me it's just stupid. I'm sorry, because a prop gun should be a fake, completely plastic gun that you
It
break the
should be,
paint.
yeah, it should be. But I guess they want to make it look as real as legit, you know, because I think what it is also when they use these prop guns, they put the blanks in them to make so when it fires, it looks like an actual gun firing. It makes it, you know, look more real when they shoot the scene and you put it on
No, I
camera.
get that, Johnny. What I'm saying to you is you have side you can use a green screen. You can use a bunch of stuff for that.
You probably
Yeah.
CGI gun, but no, that's just how that's how they do it.
Okay, so this is what it's gonna result to. It's gonna result to now they're gonna make a law where these filmmakers and producers cannot use those kind of guns. It has to be plastic. Watch, because again,
It might start some change. I don't know how much, because you know it's rare situations like this happen, but it's have happened. It happened to Bruce Lee's son on the set of The Crow. That's the last one I can remember a situation like that where a gun was used in the set and it ended up killing the actor. Or
I'm just saying this is not cool. This young lady lost her life over a prop gun. A gun that's not supposed to shoot off any. You get what I'm saying to you?
From what we read and what's been told, it looks like a horrific and terrible accident. But it's like, damn, I feel like it was an accident because at the end of the day, it was probably some negligence, but it was an accident due to
Right.
our Alec Baldwin's part because he didn't know he was about to thing. But
It's just a sad story. Like
I did see the other day it was like a movie producer that said he deserves to go to jail for at least manslaughter, but I don't know. I think it was a terrible accident, but I don't know how they would do it, how they'll approach that criminally. But I think
right.
someone has to take accountability, and someone's gonna have to take the blame for it. Someone has to be charged with
I
something.
just want to know was on the where they have like they film did they somebody say okay action and then he shot it, or was it him just like trying it and he shot it? You get what I'm saying? Because that make a difference. Because they didn't say action and he shot it.
Are you saying like did he shoot it
Why
like?
was you playing with the gun?
Oh, no, it was probably gonna film. It was probably in the middle of filming the scene when he shot it. It was a scene where he was supposed to shoot and he shot. Like, you know, it's probably more details. It's also relatively new, so not all the details are being investigated. So we could also it's another topic that we could touch back on, but I'm pretty sure it was a scene it was a scene they were shooting where he had to have a gun. He probably had to shoot the gun and he shot it.
Oh, I hope that's the case, because if not,
Because
it doesn't.
once it, if he was if he was testing like testing the gun to see if it's thing, then even if it had a live round on it, he would have some type of blame to it because what are you doing? But
Right.
I'm pretty sure it was in the midst of the acting, midst of him doing the job. He was handed the prop gun to do the scene, and he did the scene, and it fired. He let the no. He let no. He probably was told to let the round off. He let the round off, and
Right.
no, not to his knowledge. It was he was doing what he does on his job regular. When he does a movie role and he has to handle a gun for a scene, he was doing what he get paid to do. And unfortunately, someone handed him a weapon, well, a prop that turned into be a weapon and took a life. But it's just crazy.
Right.
Cause someone, like I said, someone will eventually, when this all said and done, someone will be charged with something. But it's like,
Yeah, somebody has to take the blame. They're not gonna let nobody not take the blame. Somebody died. So somewhere on the line, someone's gonna take a blame of what, I don't know.
There's gonna be accountability somewhere, but I'm just thinking like, damn, like someone really fucked that up. Because you could also
That up, someone died.
no, yeah, you know what I'm saying, but I'm talking about like the the handling of the gun. So from wherever the prop gun was they had, and then where it went to where to eventually from where it was at to how it ended up in Alec Baldwin's hand, that whole process from where it was at is just someone fucked it up. You could also do like a, you know, I'm not gonna say it could be more to the story, but it could also be one of those as, you know, someone, if not set someone up for failure. You know, they knew. You could also, it could have been someone that knew there was a live round in that prop gun and knew what they was doing when they handed it off and knew when it would be fired. Maybe not it was gonna hit someone, but it could hit someone. That's also a possibility. I'm not saying that's what happened, but that could also be a possibility. You never know. That's why it's fresh and thing. But if you really think about it, it could also be someone just for whatever reason wanted to set him up for some shit. But many possibilities. Once the investigation is done, we'll have more set. But if the investigation turns out it was like strictly clearly accident and he had no wrongdoing but besides pulling the trigger, do you think he deserves to go to jail?
No.
No, it's your opinion. Like, do you think he deserves to go to jail?
No, I don't. Actors are handed something every day. I mean, on the side sets, they handed stuff every day. It's not their responsibility to check it. It's your responsibility. And I feel like they didn't check it. And I think that's why it went wrong.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
and I think that's what's gonna be charged because the guy didn't check it.
I think the person that handed him probably was gonna get the charge and whatnot. But you know, you think, not to add this to it, but you think if there was an actor of color, would he be getting the same treatment, or it'd be a little different?
No, he probably wouldn't. They probably would think it was him. But at the same time, I
don't think he deserves to go to jail. I don't think any actor, even though I added that extra layer to it, but any actor, any orientation, race, you know, ethnicity, religion, was in that same situation should be treated the same. But I don't think it's not his fault, but that's off what was told to us. You gotta see what the investigation says. But
right.
He says it was a total accident. He had no idea. He was just doing his thing. It's very unfortunate. Someone lost their life. Someone was injured, and he's gonna be mentally scarred with that. Like, he was just doing his job. He woke up, go do his job, shoot a scene, and just went left. And that's something he's gonna have to live with, unfortunately. God rest her soul. This is the cinematographer that passed away. And hopefully this investigation goes at like a speedy, like, you know, decent pace, and all the facts is known, and then we can move on and see how it goes. But when I read that, I'm like, holy shit, what the fuck? That's it.
Yeah, I was on my way to work when I was scrolling up, and I'm like,
I'm like, damn, yo, you can only imagine. At least, imagine if he was shooting. Nah, that's like, imagine he had a prop gun. It happened to be like a much automatic gun with more rounds in it, or like, something that was spray. It would have been way worse. Someone did bad. Someone did bad. It's an unfortunate tragedy, but someone did bad. Yeah, that whole story is crazy, but that's something we'll probably come back into when the investigation is done. We'll touch back into it.
Right.
We'll give more of opinions then, because it's also freshly new. So you got to wait till these investigations is thoroughly done, and then we can really get into it. But this past weekend, some drama. Lil Nas did a video talking about.
I don't even think it's drama. It's trolling. But okay,
It,
go
it,
ahead.
it is trolling. It's trolling, but it stirred up because of what the response was. But no, Lil Nas said he got a new song, Lil Boosie, coming out. Lil Boosie has recently been, someone who strongly spoke against what Lil Nas has been doing with his music videos and in the award show. Everyone's just entitled to their opinion. Everyone could believe what they believe in. So, Lil Boosie's spoken up for what he feels, and so Lil Nas made a video talking about he got a new song with Lil Boosie coming out. I seen that video. I didn't see the response till later. When I first seen the video, I was like, "Oh, he's trolling." I laughed. I'm like, "Yeah, he's trolling. He don't got no song. Lil Boosie ain't doing no song, Lil Nas." But then Boosie's response had, some, language that they don't want us to repeat. Basically, some homophobic slur, all types of stuff. And also in his message, he did tell Lil Nas off himself, which is what he said wasn't cool, but I would say out of everything in his message, that's the one thing he shouldn't say because, God forbid, Lil Nas was to, go that route. Boosie most likely would try to throw Boosie in jail for that because the whole cyberbullying and telling people to do that, it's not a good look. But he responded with some, how do you feel about the whole situation?
I just think y'all the same respect they demand from people. And when I say, I'm not gonna say I'm just gonna say and generalize that community because I'm not gonna single out anybody. So that community demands on everybody else. I feel like they should give it. Little Boosie, Ben stopped talking about little
Nas X.
Nas X. He been stopped talking about him. So why did he feel the need to now stir up shit and then get mad? You can't stir the pot and when somebody explodes, then want to be like, but why you explode like that? You shouldn't have stirred the pot. You should have left it alone. He wasn't bothering you. You doing your thing. He's not bothering you. So why did you need to stir the pot? To me, you looking for something and you're gonna get it. You can't poke the bear and expect the bear not to bite. That's just common sense. You guys, okay, if he's not saying nothing, he already said his piece. Little Boosie already done said what he needed to say about him. Cool. Everybody was cool with that. All right, we left it off like that. You coming back to stir that same pot. You look like a troll. You look like you just doing this for clout. It don't even seem like you like
Lil Nas is a troll, yeah, but
right. Sam Smith, he's he's gay and he's talked about the love of his life and how, like it has been with, men and how they have broke his heart and he's explained that, right? So we hear Sam Smith talk about loving and being in relationship with men, right? Little Nas, when have you ever heard him talking about being in love with men and the experiences he had for, even if you are for the gay community, the LGBT community, right? Wouldn't you think that you would be like helping that community, talking to the young kids? And
he said he's not for the kids. Or he said he's not
right
for the kids.
He don't give a fuck about the kids. So
but,
to me, I just feel like he's using this because he's being talked about, Johnny. So that's why he's using this.
You just think there's a whole troll situation. He continues to stir the pot because all the controversy, good press, bad press, still people talking about
some weeks ago, he was talking about how he wants to get back with a woman. Like you doing too much. Like you need to have a seat. Listen. So I think Little Boosie went too far. Of course, that's just Little Boosie. I mean, you can't not tell a person not to go up a notch when they responding to your bullshit.
at the end of the day, he could say, what he wants. If you don't agree with it, or not, even if he says stuff you don't agree with, you know, it's his life, it's his mouth, it's his thought. But you could say is have a conversation with him, try to, tell like for him to leave those type of messages, not try to say those type of messages. But I just, I just feel like he trolled him, and I think he got what he wanted. He wanted like one of
You
those.
just can't tell people how to
No,
respond to your shit.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't. I think Lil Nas wanted that type of like on the level of response Boosie gave him. I think that was the response he was searching for. What Boosie put in his message, I don't think he wanted that exactly, but the reaction and the message, he wanted Boosie to snap. And I feel like he got what he got what he wanted. Boosie said what he said. It's all out there, but it's something that's not gonna go nowhere. It's just gonna be back and forth trolling. There's nothing. This is a situation that's like it's not. It's just not gonna go nowhere. It's just gonna be something for people to talk about. Because Lil Nas is gonna do what Lil Nas is gonna do. Boosie's gonna do what Boosie's gonna do. But Lil Nas, he's done some stuff, but he knows how the game works right now, and gimmicks is where it's at. Like, obviously, not saying his orientation is a gimmick, but everything he does is gimmicky. So he knows how to push the buttons and get people talking about him. That's just how the game is. If you want to get on now and you want to keep to be consistently on, like stay relevant consistently, you gotta have a little controversy because people want to keep talking about you. Obviously, some people don't need that, but it's just the new way, the new generation of how getting on, musically or whatever, but most definitely musically. But he's doing that. The video, Lil Nas video was funny because he just came out of nowhere and said he's doing a song with Lil Boosie. I found that video funny because I was like, there's no way they're doing a song together. But then, the response came, and then the response is what really caught everyone's eye. I don't think no one really cared about the original video in the first place after the response, but it is what it is. Trolling continues, and it's gonna continue for.
I can't stand that. When you use a gimmick to enhance your career, you ain't shit.
Well, eventually it's gonna run out. Not saying for him it will, but if you're strictly that's what you are, gimmicks run out eventually. Not saying he's just strictly a gimmick. From people, some people like his music, So he has his following. He's one of the more popular artists now, but he also likes to troll. So with that, we're gonna leave that alone and we're gonna move into week 2 of this. We broke it out last week, but this is a new segment on the ASO.
Even though we never got it settled last week.
Oh, you're talking about the whole
Will
actors
Smith and Ice Cube guys. Listen, you know what it is. When I'm saying,
listen, I love Ice Cube, but you gotta get jiggy with it.
Yeah, I ain't gonna disrespect Ice Cube, but we ain't gonna get into that because guys, we already know where it's at. Ice Cube got the numbers of music.
Listen, they both at the end of the day, they're all successful. There's also other names that we done left out. I've seen like DMX was another good, he has some good he has some good movies and all. I felt like there was other actors that we left out.
Exit Wounds was my movie though. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Exit Wounds was good. Cradle to the Grave.
That was good.
Romeo Must Die.
Yeah, even though he had a really short part in that movie, I wish they would have put him more in.
What's the other one?
Yeah, Belly. Is it Belly?
Oh yeah, he had Belly. He had Belly. The other one, something you like. He died alone. It was like one of his last major movies. What's the name of that movie? I'm about to Google it real quick. It was good though. It was a good ass movie. It was one of his major movies before he started going in and out of trouble and stuff. But it was like one of like his last starring role before he started going in and out of trouble. And he was like, off the limelight for a little bit. But I'm gonna find it out right now. Yeah, never die alone.
Oh.
Never Die Alone. That was a good movie. Came out 2004. But yeah, he had some good roles. But there's other actors, here and there that got good roles. Shit, my favorite rapper all time would have probably been top 5. He ain't passed away. Tupac. Tupac had some movies too, but unfortunately, everything was cut short. But
I mean, who don't love Juice?
I'm saying Juice, Poetic Justice, Above the Rim.
Above the Rim was another good one.
I'm saying podcast. He's another one that if his life didn't cut short, he would have been in the conversation. It would have been an interesting conversation.
He definitely would have been like top 3. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure he would have definitely got some crazy roles in certain movies that other people got roles in. Also, did it I don't know if you will count him, but I think he was a singer before he started acting. I'm not 100% sure, but Tyrese. And also, because I brought it up, I think Baby Boy was written with the thoughts of Tupac doing the role. That's why I thought about Tyrese. But he also got some decent roles too. He's a musician turned actor. But I think what you're basing it on is the level of musician they were before they became an actor. I think that's what you're basing it on.
Right.
So the level of musician before they turn actor.
Right.
That's how you're looking at it. And there's nothing wrong to look at it that way, because obviously if you look at it that way, the level, Ice Cube is the better rapper than Will Smith. Hands down. Tupac is a better rapper than Will Smith. DMX.
Okay, I just want to clear that up.
Better rapper,
I think what happens here is you guys putting movies on top of the art of music, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna explain why I do that, and then we can move on to the questions. I put the creativity of music higher because it takes more to create music and have the music like impact people than movies, right? Because movies, you recite a line and you put some feelings in it, but you don't have the creativity in movies as much as you do in music. So it takes a lot more for the music part, if that makes sense, to get up there and sell and all that other stuff than a movie. Mm-hmm. That's the reason.
But I think you took it that way. Maybe the question was worded that way, but I looked at it as just overall musician turned movie star. And that's how I looked at it. Whatever. But shout out to all of them that's successful and doing it. You can take a little Wilson. So I take that. You see? All right, but this is week 2 of it, new segment, and we have way more questions this week than we had last week. We surely do. So, but another shitty opinion.
Come on, guys. Ask questions.
Shitty questions, but we're gonna start it off. Question 1 from @J_Supreme5. Which rap album lived up to its hype?
This year, right?
Yes, this year. To me, the only one that's lived up to its hype is J. Cole's album.
Oh.
Anticipation verse.
I was gonna get my heart ready. I was getting my heart ready. I think they're gonna say Kanye.
No, it did live up to his hype to me.
Get the hell out of here.
Anticipation. No, J. Cole. like legitimately out of all the albums that came out, I feel like some of them the anticipation was higher than what we got. I think J. Cole's album's the only one that exceeded the anticipation. It was something that was also heavily anticipated, and also I think it exceeded its heavy anticipation because it was something that everybody wanted.
Let me just break this down. I loved. I mean, I to this day I still every morning bump J. Cole's album. With whole heart. Like I can rap that whole shit without even hearing it. I think his shit just it hit different, right? So it was only what like how many it wasn't that many. It wasn't as many songs as Kanye and Drake has on his shit, right? Or even Meek.
Yeah,
And the songs are like 2 minutes. And the songs are like 2 minutes. Not even. Some of them are less than 2 minutes. Some of them are just a bar and the hook, right? And I think it hit harder than Drake's, than Kanye's, than Meek's, than Wale. I think it hit
J. Cole's album had 12 tracks.
Right. And I think it hit different. I think it impacted different. I think he covered all of like aspects that I was thinking, oh shit, he ain't gonna be able to cover with just 12 songs. When I first looked at them, like 12 songs. And when I look at the time of the songs, I'm like, it's 2 minutes each. Like 2.5 minutes. That's not even a full song.
A mixture. Some it was some 2.5, some 3.
Like right, but it wasn't a lot. If you look at Drake's and Kanye's, especially, their songs are like 5-6 minutes per song.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it still didn't have the impact that J. Cole shit did.
But
I think I think this was J. Cole's year. I think the off season was just that shit. I think, and he gave me like that old feeling, like that old time rap. And I think we forget to appreciate that sometimes. I don't know. His shit was just something to that. I knew I was gonna love it because J. Cole just speaks the truth, but it lived up to
because I think
J. Cole standards.
Realistically, a lot of more albums wasn't as anticipated. There was some other projects that came out, but hype wise, to me, I think Drake and Kanye's albums probably the two most anticipated albums of this year.
I think Drake is up there.
I'm talking about no, J. Cole is definitely there. His album is definitely
no. I'm talking about Drake was up there. Drake's album Loverboy was highly like.
I'm saying people wanted that. That's what I'm saying. Anticipation for those albums is probably the highest, and then they had their little back and forth. So that added to that added more to the allure of the album. That Drake and Kanye, possibility of them dropping on the same day for competition. They take a shot.
But I feel like that's where the hype was at, Johnny. I feel like the hype was there. I feel like the hype was because we was like seeing all this bunch of bullshit. They was Kanye was dropped this day, didn't drop this day, dropped another day. He was dropped this day.
Listen,
like,
I
don't think it was the hype for the music.
It was just the controversies that surrounded
right. But be honest, I know you love Kanye, but the hype really wasn't for the music. It was for all the other shit that was going on. The hype was for the listening parties. Yeah, the listening parties and all this other shit. J. Cole didn't do none of that shit. J. Cole barely advertised this fucking album.
And also, I thought another artist, to me, is only J. Cole. That to me, that met its hype. I'm basing it off anticipation, like how the album quality versus anticipation. That's how I'm basing it.
Right.
I think also Meek's album was very anticipated, but I don't think also his intro was dope as shit, but I don't think the album met its anticipation. He had a couple of dope tracks on that album, but I don't think anticipation met the hype with that album. But to me, it's only J. Cole. I could be wrong. There's probably other albums out there, but I'm just saying there's probably other albums out there because there's also. But then,
unless you're a personal fan of certain artists, then yes, I get it. Then yeah, you waiting or or your expectations for that album, yes, it will be for that person, right? But personally, when we talk about people like waiting, come on, all season
Oh,
I waited to download that shit.
I have another project, but it's like you just said. I was personally waiting for this artist to drop their project. I was anticipating. I'm pretty sure other people was anticipating also, but Lloyd Banks dropped that project in June, early June. I was anticipating the project, and I felt like the project met its hype for me, But I'm going. I'm
sometimes we're gonna have to like talk about your music level because
But no, but
I
that's
didn't
what I
even know
said.
Lloyd Banks was putting out music. Why is Lloyd Banks putting out music? Listen,
Well, put out
don't
music.
start.
He took a break. He took a break and he put out some music.
He
But
took a
I'm
20
saying
year
no,
break.
no. He why? No, he took like a couple years break. It hasn't been 20 years. He's been putting out mixtapes. He hasn't put out an album. He actually put out an album this year.
He too old to be putting out mixtapes.
No, but that's what he was doing the whole time.
Right, but he too old to be doing that.
Yeah, but he's not too old to be putting out mixtapes. He chose that. That's the route he chose. He's been giving out music for free for a bunch of years now. But that's what I said. That I was just saying. I only brought that up because the fact you said, like being a personal fan and anticipating it, and that was a project I was personally anticipating, and when it came out, it met my expectations. But to me, overall, I felt like J. Cole was the album that lived up to his hype.
Yes, definitely.
That I'm talking about overall, and then Lloyd Banks' project to me lived up to his hype. To me, that's just my point with that.
Right.
But it was a couple albums this year, and the year's not over yet, and maybe we'll get some more albums, and we'll see if they'll live up to the hype. But that's question one. Now let's get into question two. All right, question two from Via the Villain. Who's the better singer, Beyonce or Aaliyah? I'm gonna let you lead this conversation because I wouldn't be able to say. I'm gonna let you carry this. So
how you want to be able to say it? Duh, it's Beyonce. Now, people gonna come from you, but listen, Aaliyah had great music, and unfortunately, due to her death, we couldn't see her range, right? So for a couple of years, we saw her do the kind of the same thing. She really didn't do. She wasn't able to expand, right? With Beyonce, in a sense, we've heard her do country music, we've heard her do Spanish music, we heard her do R&B, we've heard her do pop, right? So she's done her span on different types of music, and we heard her range, right? I think when it comes down to it, I think it comes down to the different range that you can go when you're a singer, right? That's what puts me in the category, put you in the category as a better singer. Does that make sense? Like you're not just stuck in this one box, right? So Rihanna started off as
that's how you're breaking it down. Some people will break down the actual singing voice.
But that's what I'm telling you. The range of how you can sing. Beyond if you do country's a hard, very hard, like you have to have a certain kind of singing
different
voice.
Sound. It's a different sound.
Right.
Different
approach. So your voice has to go through that range.
Her singing is much more diverse, and unfortunately, Aaliyah's wasn't able to grow, so we can't really see it to its full potential. So you gotta just base it on what you have. And there's also a nostalgia thing with Aaliyah because she was, loved by many of us that grew up, and she was, her music was when we was younger, and obviously we've heard.
But don't get me wrong, I love Aaliyah. When her shit hit all
all streaming platforms for the first time,
I was so excited. For a whole freaking week, all her shit. So don't get me wrong, Aaliyah that is the shit. Aaliyah is the shit. Unfortunately,
even though her life and career was cut short, it's it's still an acknowledgement for her to be in the conversation with Beyonce, who's top tier, who's probably if not the biggest artist right now overall. And the fact that Aaliyah passed away 2001, September 2001. It was like this this past September will make 20 years.
Right.
Passed away September 2001. So yeah, this past September was 20 years. So for someone to still be considering the conversation, I think is dope. And unfortunately, it's just she didn't get to blossom and grow and put out more stuff for the fans. But obviously, she has enough stuff for the fans to go back and listen to and love and praise.
Right.
But I just say it's an acknowledgement on her part that she's still, after 20 years after her passing, that she's still in the conversation, which is
right.
Good. I don't know who's the better singer, but you say Beyonce, and we're gonna roll with your answer.
I mean, it comes down just to it, but the problem with that question it's so because you really can't. Again, the time Aaliyah was doing her music, it wasn't voice range. It was more of like, it was more of just like pop. It wasn't pop music. It was more just R&B.
I would say it was just a little different. You're saying it was
right. Right.
Then versus now it was just different. But
right.
It's preference. I'm pretty sure there's a good group, select people that's going to take, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure there's going to be a group of people that's going to say Aaliyah. They're two very loved artists.
Right.
It's something that's going to be debated for years to come.
Again, that question is just a hard question. Again, if Aaliyah was still here, I think we'd be talking about it differently, but because she's not here and we wasn't able to hear her voice range.
She's been gone 20 years.
Right.
God rest her soul. But at least she put an imprint on this planet, because 20 years later, her music's still being talked about, and
people was excited when that shit hit the streaming sites. I'm one of those people. I'm just saying. Just saying.
Okay. Question 3. At Don Decap, are we in a good place in Hollywood? Young Black people are getting a lot of roles. Do you feel we're in a good place in Hollywood?
Nah. Let me tell you, I'm gonna be very honest. I feel like we're not in a good place yet. I think when more American, young Black Americans get more roles, I think we'll be in a better place. And I'm gonna explain why. We still labeled as difficult to work with. Black people are still labeled as difficult actors or actresses, or even, producers. We are still labeled as difficult. And I think once we get over that hump or that label, then yes, we'll be in a good place. And I think once we start getting paid and getting our flowers for the roles we play, then yeah, we'll be in a good place. From right now, we're not there yet. And I don't think the work is done. Like, personally, I feel like a lot more actors should be getting flowers for some of the roles they play, and we don't.
What I would say is, I don't know if I could ever say Hollywood's in a good place. Hollywood's always gonna be a little shady, some weird stuff be going on in Hollywood. But when it comes to like the roles have become more diverse in set years. Because I'm not gonna lie, I was really thinking about it. I was watching I don't remember when the thought popped up in my mind. I was just watching a TV show and I really thought about it. Like, all these TV shows I watched, like growing up, the percentage of Black lead or wasn't as high. It was always, you might get that one Black character that's like a side role or something like that when it's on TV. It wasn't, but now every other TV show, I feel like it's become more diverse now versus when I was growing up. So like more, you see it more on TV shows now. You see more leading roles, more than just side roles. But I don't know. I could say Hollywood's ever in a good place, in my opinion. But when it comes to roles like that, I think it has gotten better because you see it more. the percentages is high.
Yeah, but you see it more. But you see it for more of those European
obviously
black actors.
a lot
but
of them.
You're not seeing it from the American black actors and actresses that also deserve the chance, right? So my problem is
A
not
lot
that
of
we
more,
not.
a lot
My
of the
problem is
more
not.
bigger black actors are, not from America, but there's still a couple. There's American.
Name some.
Michael B. Michael B. is American, right?
Right, but what show does he have that he
He movies. He's not. Some it's different. It's different. Like some people do.
Okay,
TV,
so
some people do.
what? Name a movie that he's in that he's not an angry black man.
Name a movie that he was in that he wasn't an angry black man. Gotta think about all his movies. Oh,
I'll give you a minute.
I'll give you one, but that movie was horrible. But Fantastic Four.
He was angry and black. He was angry. He was an angry black child. He was angry with his father through the whole movie. And it wasn't until the end when his father died, he realized that his father was just trying to make him a better man. But he all through Fantastic Four, he was an angry black child.
Was he angry?
Yes, he hated his sister who was adopted, the white girl, Sue, because he felt like his father never gave him that love. He was an angry black child. That's why his father had to take away his car for him to come work. Give me a movie where they didn't place.
I thought that.
No,
I didn't remember that movie. I named that movie. I don't remember that movie. I watched it twice.
There's not one movie where they made him like a loving person who's just loving. He's always an angry black man. And this is the reputation they have of black people. And this is what I'm telling you. We are not done yet, Johnny. I get it. Our faces are on more screens, and I'm happy about that, of course. But again, we are not put out there the way we are. How come is it the one young black man we have, every movie he does, he's angry. In Creed, he was angry. In Black Panther, he was angry. Fruitvale Station, he was angry. We even go back to the young Michael B. in Hardball. He was angry. Again, this is the reputation they have of us.
Yeah, he was also on he was on a TV show, Friday Night Lights. They did like a TV show based off the movie Friday Night Lights. He was on that, but I could say I was gonna say, and I think he's angry on Friday Night Lights from what I remember.
Right, the description they have of us black people.
He had a shaky relationship with his pops in Friday Night Lights.
He's always angry.
Oh, yeah, I knew there was a movie. It's a movie called That Awkward Moment. It's more of like a comedy movie. He was regular in that movie. That's the only movie I can say he was regular, like a regular. Okay. It's a comedy,
but his big roles, his movies that have big roles, Black Panther,
Creed. Oh man!
All those roles he has, he's this angry black kid.
Like he's typecasted. They always have him in the same roles. Well, hopefully we get him in the more loving and roles that's different than what he.
That's what I'm saying. That's why.
That's why you feel like Hollywood's not in a good place, but
right. The question is a really good question. Are we happy with where we at? We shouldn't be. We should always want more because, unfortunately, white people don't stop giving their prices just because they're happy where they at. They keep going. And so we as black people should not be happy where we at. We should keep going. I wholeheartedly believe that we can make some changes to that.
Yes, at least more, but at least is more roles. People get more opportunities, and people get more time to get seen, and then they can land their dream job. Maybe the show you've seen them on is not going to be the show that they end up on, but shout out to all the young ones that's getting it. Moving on, question number 4. It's from my boy. He gave me more of like a topic statement. than an actual question, but I took what he wrote me and I flipped it into a question. But I'm credited him with the question. So at Parat Don, P Classic 001. Is 50 better at breaking out TV shows than breaking out musical artists? Which do you feel is 50 better at? Breaking out these shows, or breaking out musical talent? You gotta answer the question, Bree. I asked the question, you gotta give me your answers. Yes, no, maybe so. Tie.
If we talking about numbers, if we talking about the numbers he brings in, of course it shows.
So you think
the amount of people who watch his, I'm about to say his dumbass shows, the people who watch his shows, I feel like bringing more numbers than the people he brought into the music industry.
Because he had the G Unit, he brought Tony Yayo, Lloyd Banks. You could credit him with Game. They had their beef, but Game was also G Unit. Well, he had a whole roster of people on G Unit. So a couple of their first albums was very successful first album. No, we said talking about numbers.
Okay, we're talking about numbers. Oh, okay.
Yeah, numbers wise, they all had successful first albums.
Listen, you can't be biased when you're talking about this. I'm just like, no.
I'm not talking about the quality. I'm not talking about the quality.
Just because you're a fan.
No, but we're talking about the numbers, not statistically.
Okay.
Lloyd Banks' first album did good numbers.
Okay.
Yayo's album did good.
Okay.
Oh wow, I forgot about Young Buck's album did good also. His first album on Unit did good. Talking stats. If you're not talking about if you like the music or not. And then Game's first album came out through G Unit, also did great numbers also.
Okay.
So, but
the question is not his stats. The question is which one is he better at, Johnny? That was the question. Is he better at doing the shows, or is he better at bringing artists to the front line? So you didn't answer the question.
No, you didn't. I said you said shows.
I said shows.
No,
right, because you're talking about the artist stats.
No, yeah, I broke. No, I was giving you more.
But the artist stats that compared to the shows, it doesn't, Johnny, and you know it doesn't.
That's true. But you can say he's taking the same approach he took with the artists, he took to the TV shows.
Nah, you're full of shit.
No, it is the same. It is the same approach.
It's not the same approach. TV shows. It's not the same approach.
He's approaching it the same way he approached the music.
How is it the same approach?
Because that's how he said he approached it. 50 said himself.
And you believe that shit?
Why would I not? If he said it, why not? He said that's how. No, I'm saying if someone.
But I'm telling you, it's bullshit.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is, if someone tells you how they approach something,
I can tell you a bunch of shit. I can tell you a bunch of shit.
But that's different. If I tell you this is how I approach such and such situation, why would you not believe I approached that situation that way? I told you I approached it that way.
You're not listening. He can tell you a million shit. That's not how it's perceived when you watch his shows and you listen to the music or the artists that he brought on. It doesn't go together. So this is what I'm trying to tell you.
No, it's a little different.
You can say whatever you want, but when it doesn't match and it doesn't seem like that's how it works, it doesn't correspond together, you can call bullshit on it.
I think he approaches it the same way. He's just having more success. He's had great success in one area, and I think he's found success in another area, and it's a growing success. That's just my opinion. I feel like the run for his TV show success is lasted much longer than the actual music run.
It not only lasts, no, it's not even lasting much longer. It's if we're talking about his creativity with the shows, was much better than him being an artist or him.
I would say, yeah, the run's also better. Power came out in 2014. So he's been on this run from 2014 till now and it's still going. That's what I'm saying. His initial musical run himself was you could say 03 to 07 was his best peak of his musical run. Was 03 to 07. So that's what I'm saying. I'm giving the nod to the TV show. TV shows is still an ongoing success. It's still continuing. He's still on the run. The run didn't stop yet. So I agree with you. I think he was better out breaking these shows and it's showing because he's still on that tear. His show's still coming out. BMF is doing good. I don't know if you watched last week's this past episode. BMF is just getting better and better. And then we got Power Book 2. New season 2 come out in November. And then you got Power Book 4 with Tommy. I think February 2022 or just 2022. I don't know. They gave a month. But no, that's what I'm saying. His TV show run is still ongoing. So I would agree and say that he was better at breaking out these shows than he was musical artists.
Okay.
Now, I mentioned him in this conversation, but question number 5 at Dons_Prezi. Does Game, the rapper Game, deserve his flowers? I seen that he posted today that saying he doesn't get his flowers. I believe he deserves his flowers. Game is one of my favorite rappers growing up, and I feel like
I knew once I heard the question, I knew you were gonna say this bullshit. But
you don't think he deserves his flowers?
Go ahead.
He musically.
What the fuck has he done? Don't make me mad.
What?
All jokes aside, he had one fucking good album. Tell me yo, what has the Dream done that he deserves flowers?
I mean, the rapper, the game. He helped, like he said, he helped put West Coast artists on. He was giving them verses and jumping on tracks just for the love of it.
That doesn't mean you deserve. What West Coast artists did he put on?
He didn't sign these artists, but when he went on tour, he had Kendrick open for him. Before Kendrick became Kendrick, he had Kendrick open for him.
See the problem here. Let me say this. When 50 put him on, and then they had that little fight, he claimed 50 couldn't take responsibility for his rap skills and what he's produced, right? So we cannot give him flowers for Kendrick's production. Like, Kendrick is Kendrick. He was gonna be Kendrick no matter what. So we cannot give him flowers for somebody else's success. I'm not gonna do that. The Game himself has not done much for me to be like, yo, you deserve flowers.
I feel like from a musical standpoint, he deserves flowers. He's actually good. He's a really good rapper.
What album has he put out that he deserves flowers for?
Documentary was his first album.
That's one. Okay. The problem here is if you have to think about the shit, he don't deserve flowers.
No, that's not true.
That is true.
When
you think of he did that bullshit ass show with his ex-fiance Tiffany. That shit was whack. That shit made him look weak. That shit wasn't good. Right? We saw he demeaned women. Okay. Tell me something that he did that makes him stand out, John. Tell me. Oh, not just album wise.
I was gonna give you an album from the Jesus Piece album. It dropped a long time ago, but it was a little after when he broke out musically. The Jesus Piece album was a good album. Yeah, Game had a couple of Doctor's Advocate was cool too. That was the second. Doctor's Advocate was the second.
But again, album. It didn't pull in numbers. Nobody remembers the Game. He didn't leave a mark.
I want to say that he's definitely, you remember, He's definitely left a mark because you remember for him for all the controversial stuff like the beefing and stuff like that. It's just.
But that's bullshit. You
what I
don't
would
get
say
flowers for beefing.
You know what I'm saying? What I would say is, I feel like he's someone that should be bigger than what he is. But I don't know if no. I don't know if that's more on himself or fans in general. I don't know if it's just he didn't really.
That's him.
That's what I'm saying.
He was supposed to be bigger because he was supposed to be bigger. He didn't make that shit happen. He let all that other shit that didn't matter be bigger than what his artistry should have been. So because of that, Johnny, just because you in the industry and you put out a couple of albums doesn't mean you get flowers. This is the shit about people deserving flowers now. It's like, oh, I was in the industry where I helped this nigga. You still haven't left a mark. When we think of people deserving flowers while they are alive, we think of people like Kendrick. We think of people like even Childish Gambino. We think of people like Jake. We think of people like Drake. We think of people even like Lil Wayne. Why? Because they have left a mark, not because of their industry beef and their dumb shit. They left the mark with music. They left the mark with the shit that they've done. Do you get what I'm saying to you? You just can't say, oh, I deserve flowers because you feel like you deserve fucking flowers. Because what the fuck have you done? Let's see your roster.
No, what I would say is when it comes to stuff like that, I feel like it's better if someone comes out and says, yo, my boy deserves this flowers than when you coming out and saying it. I think it's a much better approach. It's like, boom, my boy Dev deserves his flowers versus Dev coming out and say, yo, I really deserve my flowers. Why people ain't giving me my flowers while I'm here? And you're right, you could do that, but I feel like it's a little different and better for someone to say it and then you could like co-sign that. But I think he does. I think he deserves his flowers because musically, he's put out some records I enjoy that I've listened to also growing up, and he is talented. But
I bet you right now, if we put on a poll, would you attend the Game's concert? Most people would say no. Listen,
we can do a poll. Listen, we can do a poll. That'll be interesting.
We could do. I would love to do a poll because to me, again, he didn't leave a mark enough for even for the generation now to say, yo, I fuck with the Game.
One thing I would say is, what I would definitely say is, you could probably take a blame from that. He should be. I would say he's an artist that should be bigger, but maybe it was all the beefing took away from the actual artistry, and that's why he's not as big as he is. He got too much beefs and he lost focus of what he should kept doing. But as a talent and as a rapper, he's a dope rapper, talented. But I think he deserves flowers because he left the impact on me. I listen to his music, so and I know people that listen to his music. But okay, it is what it is. We're gonna go to the next question. Okay, this is much versus all the other questions we got. This is a much deeper question. Pronounce her name correctly. I'm gonna say Trini Moore. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the name correctly, but that's how I pronounce it. But this question is, how do you approach a conversation with a Black woman that you understand her, and what's a man's understanding of a woman? Question number 6.
Go ahead, Johnny. Go ahead, Johnny. How do you approach?
Listen, to let anybody, because I don't want to generalize it by like race, because it says,
No, let's generalize it. The question was generalized. It was to Black women.
Yeah, but I would say
that first part is generalized. You're gonna answer the first part of the question.
I'm answering the question, but what I'm saying is, you would approach with obviously communication. the understanding a woman, you know what I'm trying to say, is not obviously you don't look at it as a race thing, like, this woman, you approach this
No,
woman,
you do.
you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to.
You supposed to. You want me to explain why?
You can explain why. Actually, explain why, and we'll get back to it.
Yeah, so I want to explain why, and then you could cut back in and finish.
Explain why.
The reason why is because what Black women go through ain't the same thing what white women go through. Okay.
Oh no, I understand that.
Hold on. So when you are approaching a Black woman, it's totally different than how you approaching a white woman. What Black women endure on a daily basis is different than what a white woman would. Yeah, I'm not trying to be rude to the white woman.
Oh no.
I'm just saying, as a Black woman,
I completely
the way you approach me has to be different than the way you approach a white woman. And it's just because my day-to-day basis is different than her day-to-day basis. So how you approach is different. That's why I said it does matter. And that's why that person put Black women. Because how y'all Black men, I don't know if you identify, even though you're Spanish, so you're Black. Black men, how you, right. So how you approach a Black woman, that's what she's asking that question. How a Black man should approach a Black woman is different than how he will approach a white woman, okay? Now, that's why she do the Black woman.
That's what I said. I understand that part, okay. But then that was the top part of the question, because in that
right. So we answering this the top part. So how do you? No. Because you're trying to skip over that. No,
I'm not skipping. I'm not gonna skip. I'm not gonna skip, because obviously, in the tales of living life, obviously we know just a person of color lives much different life than others, but everyone has their struggle. You know what I'm trying to say? Because then I'm trying to bridge the two questions together, because it says how you approach to show how you understand her, and then what's a man's, you know what I'm trying to say, then what's a man's understanding of a woman. So it's like I'm trying to answer the questions and bridge them both, because it's together. It's both questions are together.
Is you can't bridge them both, my love. You have to do one. You have to explain one, and then you try to. The first part of that question. Hold up. That first part of the question. How do you approach a conversation to a Black woman that you understand her? That you have to answer that one time.
Yes. Now,
how do you?
I'm trying to.
Okay, go ahead.
It goes with what I'm saying is it goes with communication, because obviously we live in a world. Some people just be oblivious to certain things, which right. Is true. Like, people just oblivious. Obviously, some people know what some people's going through, but people don't really know what you're going through. So if you're not really communicating it, obviously, if the communication is not there, when I approach you to have the conversation with you, I'm probably not going to understand what's going on in this said situation, because the communication is not clear cut. Right. You have to communicate it. If you communicate it and you're clear cut with communication, it's easy.
I think a lot of what Black women go through, and the understanding part here is it's clear as day, right? So I talk about this a lot, especially because I basically work with a lot of white women, and I explain this to them a lot, right? So the day to day, I can wear braids in my hair and it's considered ghetto, right?
But a white woman wear braids. It's like it's exotic or some other shit.
Right. Yes, it's considered beauty.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. But the understanding of how that feels as a Black woman, no, I would think a Black man would understand and know how to communicate with that. But a lot of times Black men will say, here we go again with the anger, and here we go again.
But no, I was gonna get to that. It's like what you're conditioned. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like you was conditioned at when you're younger, and something that was conditioned into your mind. So it's basically, obviously, you always hear people joking. You know what I'm trying to say? Obviously, the race jokes, you're hearing jokes and whatnot. So therefore, a lot of people try to branch out. That's why, I'm not a lot of people. You see more interracial relationships and stuff. People, color dating outside of their race, is because all the extra bullshit they was hearing as they was growing up. All that stuff that was growing up, or seeing on TV, or hearing the music, influence how they think and on their thought process. But my point is, obviously, we hear it all the time that the Black woman is the most unprotected woman in the world, or the world, you could say, states, world. So
here's my opinion, guys, and here's my advice to Black men. When you are approaching a conversation to a Black woman, as a Black woman, I understand the day-to-day struggle a Black man has, right? Walking down the street, not knowing if he gets pulled over or he gets stopped, that there's a chance he might get killed, right? There's a chance that if he's in the block, a stray bullet could kill him. It's understanding that a day-to-day Black man goes through, right? The struggle in the job force, not getting paid as much as the white man because he's Black, right? Getting racially profiled, getting killed even by his own neighborhood because we live in a
lot of self-hate,
right, crab barrel mindset. Everybody's trying to get out the barrel and everybody's trying to find a way, right? So as a Black woman, we understand that. So when we approach certain conversations with you Black men, we know how to approach it, and it's in a sensitive way, right? But I think when the tables are turning, this is what this young lady is saying, when the tables are turned, you guys don't know how to approach us as Black women, right? Because the minute we get any of our voice raised a little bit, or we get a little antsy, it's here they go again, being this mad Black woman I still growing up with in my own house, being that mad Black, or being angry, or being gold diggers, or being and here's the problem: when you approaching that, you have to have the same mindset as a Black woman has when they approaching you. That sensitivity, that loving, that understanding that we go through the same day-to-day basis as you guys, and sometimes it's worse because not only are we women, but we Black, and so we have everything against us. So when you approaching a conversation, and this is just for anybody who's watching, when you approaching a conversation with a Black woman, remember to be a little bit more sensitive, because we go through what y'all go through, but we go through it sometimes 10 times worse because we are also women on top of that. Okay, on top of that color, we are women. So when you approaching the conversation with us, make sure you approach it with some sensitivity. Or maybe you approach that with the same kind of sensitivity you would your mother, your sisters, so that you understand. If you guys have questions on our day-to-day basis life, that's fine. See, I think the problem here is that guys have this
but no, I'm saying
on and off switch.
But it's what I kind of brought up is just the way people growing up, the conditioning of the thought process. You know what I'm trying to say? The conditioning.
Right, but now we live in a world where that thought process should be different. Because now brown skin girls are ruling the fucking world. So at this point, you need to be a little bit more. Johnny, I get what you're saying.
That's for the next. You know what I'm saying? But that's going to be for the next generation. We're talking about like the current generation.
That's for now. That's for now. Because we stand by you guys, by you Black men, when y'all getting killed, when y'all getting hurt. You get what I'm saying? We protesting with, so the same sensitivity we approach you guys with, the same sensitivity needs to be approached with us. That's what I'm saying to you. The person asks, how do you approach a conversation with a Black woman when you're trying to understand her day-to-day basis? You approach it with sensitivity. You approach it with understanding that, they go through what we go through, but sometimes it's 10 times worse due to the fact that they are women.
The factors, of course, the outside.
You get what I'm saying?
I completely understand what you're saying.
Because not only do we get spit on by our own sisters, we get spit on by Caucasian women, Caucasian men. We are called so many things. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No,
the world we live in today is
that was
so
what I'm saying. That's part of what my point was of bringing it up. That's why that's why some women feel like when men approach them, Black women feel Black men approach them and don't understand them. It's because of the conditioning and also what you said, all that stuff. So it creates self-hate. It creates, like a negative narrative. That's what's created. So as you grow older, if you're not open-minded or wise, and you let all these outside factors influence how you think, how you speak, how you move, how you treat other people, you let all these outside factors, you're not going to really be able to hold, the conversation or show that you're understanding, because your thought process is not wired that way until you cleanse yourself of like that thought process and really like open up and wake up and really see like outside the box and outside everything to really truly understand. It's going to be the same. No, it's going to be the same process. Obviously, the struggle is real. There's a lot of unfortunate things that takes place on this earth, and Black people, unfortunately, is usually the main one that take the bulk of all the bullshit that goes on. So it's like, that's what you're saying when you said when the woman starts talking and it's like the guy's like, oh, there you go again, angry. That was a narrative that was also people was brought up with. It's like to devalue the Black woman's point. Oh, she's angry. Oh, she's going off, and she could be completely right, but that's how you brush it off. Like, oh, she's angry. That's what I'm saying. It's all part of the conditioning, the things that we take in. So all the stuff that we take in, it affected us and it shaped us in a way. So it's like, but that's also leading to the the next point of this question, which I wasn't trying to skip the top part. I was just trying to bridge it all together, because
don't worry, girls. I'll bring him back to the topic.
I was trying to bridge.
I got this.
I was trying to bridge them both, because the next part of the question is, what's a man's understanding of a woman?
But that's a different question, Johnny, because
that's what I'm saying. That's what I was trying to.
But those are two. But you can't bridge those, because I'm gonna tell you why.
I understand.
What you understand, what's your understanding of women generally, is not the same as how do you approach a conversation with a Black woman of their day-to-day basis, right? So what you understand of a woman, I technically I would like to know, what is your understanding of a woman?
Like, it's I would say it's like a broad generalized topic, but because it's much broad, it's not like it's expanded. So all these facial expressions, but my understanding of a woman is basically obviously I know for a fact women go through a lot of shit. There's a lot of
you ain't lying.
You know what I'm saying? But
you ain't lying.
From what I understand, I know women go through a lot of shit. So it's basically, as a whole, men and women go through a lot of shit. But there's a different type of shit that listen. I gotta get it off. There's a different type of shit that women go through that men will never go through. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, from the simple shit, a woman could walk down a block in any neighborhood, good, bad, even, and be harassed, hassled. You know what I'm trying to say? That's something simple that a man doesn't have to deal with. So what I would say, my understanding of a woman is basically, as I previously stated, you talked about sensitivity, all that, but it's, if you communicate it, it helps your understanding of, because like I said previously, obliviousness. Some people live this world and is oblivious to every situation. So as they speak or they say stuff, and they say stuff that's just out of place because they're not set or know what's going to say. Say what you're saying.
I feel like that's bullshit. I feel like that's bullshit. Yeah, because I'm gonna tell you why. I don't need to communicate to you that girls are being killed just for saying no. Hold on. The understanding of a woman, of what a woman goes through, should not have to be communicated because it's so publicized to you guys. I've seen.
Yeah, you're right. In a way, I could. I feel like I'm approaching the question in a different way. I gotta broaden. All right, so you just approach like obviously if you have to understand like the whole as a whole as it as in a whole is basically understand what they really go through and try your best to be there for them on different sets of occasions, whatever it may be, just show that you're there, support, loving, everything. Because you got to understand, for those, that's why I said, some people's just a bliss situation, but we're going to talk about in the generalized understand, is just, you're, as a man, I go through what I go through, but it's not the same for as a woman. And women will probably go through more shit in one day than a man would probably go in a week. Both sides go through what they go through, but obviously we know when it comes to women, the pay gap, the crazy stuff that we hear about, like predator, women's targets of predator. It's a whole lot. So it's like a whole lot that you have to like really filter into your mind that they really go through on a day-to-day basis. So it's like basically as again to the top part of the question, which is a whole different part of the question, it's how you approach the conversations. True understanding is basically you have to really sit there and observe all that's going around. Like really sit there and really comprehend, because you can really see a situation and say you understand it, but you really don't understand what's really going on. So you really have to really comprehend what it is. And that will really bring out a better understanding of the whole situation as a whole, because then you can really see it for what it really is. If you're not approaching it correctly, or you're oblivious, or there's another word I can't think of it off the top of the dome, but something along the lines of oblivious, but basically it's like, or you choose not to acknowledge, because that's what some people do, some people just choose to as I previously said, we all had issues. Some people choose to take their issues and basically say, I deal with this and I deal with this, so I don't really have to deal with just shit because I'm dealing with my shit.
Right.
So when it comes to like this topic, I feel like it comes to the foundation of really comprehending the whole picture, like seeing the whole picture for what it is. And once you do that, it makes it easier, because even if what I feel like is what I understand doesn't give me a clear, because I could say I really understand, I could see what they really go through, but what a woman feels on a day-to-day basis is something I will never feel or know, because I'm not a woman.
Right.
I can't, like, I can speak from what I see, observe, and but at the end of the day, because sometimes I know everyone does it, like they don't really, everyone goes through some shit, they reveal some shit, but not everyone really gives in all the shit they go through. So there's certain shit that they bottle in and keep in. So for that, that's why I brought up the communication. So it's like, because obviously the top part of the question is how you approach the conversation so that you understand. And then this other question is more a generalized question of your understanding of a woman. So when it all is all said and done, obviously you just gotta be sympathetic.
And it's not
show empathy.
It's not me being rude, but you niggas would never understand what it's like to be a woman. And that's okay. But I think the part here is you may never understand. It's just having that sympathy to understand.
Yeah, it's being sympathetic and showing some empathy, like showing, trying to say,
right. But it's also you guys wanting to understand. Because I can talk as much as I want to, but if you don't want to understand where I'm coming from because you're so wrapped up in what you believe in
or stuck in
or what
stuck in
you
your way.
see, right, then you're never going to understand where I'm coming from. And I think a lot of the times, a lot of black men, I'm gonna aim towards them, don't want to listen to what we have to say because it combats on what they believe, and that's the problem.
And then back to my previous points, also stuff that take place as growing up that condition and wide them to make them think the way they think or act the way they act and stuff like that. That also plays a role. Like growing up, stuff that takes place, past traumas, stuff like that, also takes its roles. But when it comes down to it, a man can always have his understanding of a woman and what he feels he understands a woman. But like I previously said, there's some shit that like we could understand, but we will never really know. So it's just how we approach it. We gotta approach it as best way possible with some empathy, sympathy, some communication, everything. That's my take. That was a good question. And that was a good in depth question versus other questions we got in depth stuff. I don't know if you was.
Even though, guys, he was trying to skip the question. Don't worry.
I wasn't trying to skip the question. I was trying to, because I was trying to. If you reading the question, it's like it was written as two questions. Like, so you're thinking like, all right, boom, question, and then the way it was worded, like the way it was put, is like it was to also address the top part of the question. So that's why I was trying my best to put both in the way, but in all reality is it was two different questions that obviously have two different answers. You could address, you have to address top part versus bottom part. Yes, I understand that. But that was basically two questions in itself. It was two in-depth questions that got into some in-depth stuff. But yeah, some good stuff. I don't think Bruce on my answer, but it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. We just gotta live our lives, Men is men, women is women, and it is what it is. Moving on to our last question. And our last question comes from @Kerry_blessed. What 5 artists, dead or alive, would you want to start a band with? I'm gonna let you stop.
Ooh. So, you know who my first artist is gonna be? Beyonce.
Okay, Beyonce.
Then I'm gonna mix it up and put Michael Jackson.
Okay, Mike
Jackson. I think Michael Jackson and Beyonce together.
Okay.
Right, you gotta sit the tongue out of that one because that right there, those two duels, I'm killing it. Right. But then I realized like I need a rapper.
Okay, you need a rapper.
And then I went back to think, and then I'm like, you know who will be good with them too? Andre 3000, right? And I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, if you remember, he did a song with Beyonce, Party, right? Mm-hmm. That shit was a hit. Even though she then took him off and then just put J. Cole, but it was a hit. And I feel like he's more of like a character, so he'll go good with them, right? And then I'm like, okay, so I have my rapper, I can put that to the side. I'm going back to my singing, right? And then I'm like, oh, but I'll throw Childish Gambino in there because he's an artist, right? And so I'm thinking like theatric, so that shit will be dope, right? Because you think about like, this is America, and then you think, oh shit, Man in the Mirror. Then you think of Formation with Beyonce. Imagine you doing all three of those together. Then I'm like, you know what? I have to put another rapper in there. So I thought Wale would be perfect, right? Because he's more of like a sensual, kind of Rastafarian. You know, he's like that smoke weed. You need that kind of person in
You
there.
try to.
So
I see what you want. You try to get like artists that you feel like will blend instead of just name dropping. Like, I'm just get this artist.
Right.
Yeah, you got a dope. I'm not gonna lie. Those 5, they'll make some dope.
You didn't even think of that.
I thought about it in a different way. I didn't know if I want to do a rap super group or just mix and match. You put a little more in-depth thought on it. I like the art.
I thought that's what we were supposed to be doing. No, well, we're not supposed to be thinking of a band that will make you money, right? If my band was together, I'd be a freaking billionaire.
Maybe my shit won't flow as good as yours, but let me name my first 3 artists in my band. My rapper would be Tupac.
Okay. Okay.
My rapper would be Tupac. I'm definitely. It's just yours sounds like it's gonna blend better than mine. So Tupac's my rapper.
You also gotta remember this band is gonna be working together. But okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Tupac.
Tupac's my rapper.
Okay.
Definitely have to have Prince and Michael Jackson.
Oh, okay. I don't know how Tupac is gonna work with Prince and Michael Jackson.
I think they'll make it work.
Okay, and those are your first 3.
That's my first 3. And then I'm gonna try to think of something to make it, more flow like how you flow. I like your 5. You have a solid 5. Your 5 is dope. My 5's a little more preference. So I did Pop, Mike, Jack, and Prince. So now
I don't think, but I just don't feel like Michael Jackson and Prince would just like they are 2 totally different. Like you got 2 totally different maps. Like one is like, okay, go ahead.
I know. my 5 sounding wild right now. I'm going with my preference.
Okay, go ahead.
See, I didn't even realistically when I thought about the whole band shit. I didn't even want to pick a rapper. I wanted to just pick different artists, basically.
Okay.
He could also you saying thing. Prince could play instruments also, so that's not necessarily he could sing.
The problem with Prince is that he's a diva. He was a diva, so
he was.
He's not gonna just want to stick to instruments. He's gonna want to be lead. See the problem?
This is my band. This is my band. They gotta
right, but your band, but you're going off of people's characters.
This is my band.
So it's technically okay. Go ahead.
I'm just saying. That's why I was gonna pick Prince regardless, because the fact
who asked this question?
At Carrie_blessed.
Well, at Carrie, you put in Johnny's mind to work, because to me it's common sense, right? When you think of a band, you think of people who will do impact, right? That's why. See how I thought of like songs that it could connect? Childish Gambino, This Is America, and then Beyonce with Formation, and then Michael Jackson with Man in the Mirror. You throw Andre 3000 in there with some nice like melody, and then you throw Wale in there with a message. You got the new national anthem.
I understand that, but maybe Prince is the outlier.
Too late. You already know.
No. I'm keeping my 3.
Okay. Because you can't be.
I'm just saying Prince is the outlier, but I could say I think Michael Jackson and Tupac could work. I think it could work.
I think that could work.
Let's say
I think Prince is gonna give you a run for your money. But I mean, okay.
So that's my 3.
You have 2 more.
Damn.
Come on, Johnny. You were supposed to have this, because you see how I had mine. You didn't even have to ask me. I had it. It was here.
No, because like I had a set, but then when I let you go first, and then I thought about how you impacted my thought process of
you
impacted my thought process. Obviously the band, I said Prince could also play instruments. I'm gonna pick somebody that could play, that we're gonna have someone just strictly for instruments. Strictly for the instrument. Damn, I said Pop, Prince, Mike Jack. Trying to
Let's
balance it
go.
out. Trying to balance it out. Prince, Mike Jack, Tupac. Now I'm trying to balance it out musically. I'm gonna get I'm gonna get myself a drummer.
You said a drummer. You said a drummer?
Yeah, it's a band.
Like a little drummer boy?
That way the main three can get their their whole shit. Their whole, no. I'm gonna just throw niggas together. If you like it, you like it or not. Nah, that's horrible. But all right. So I gotta stick with this three. Now I gotta think of two artists to fit with these three guys I already got. Who's an artist that could really? She give me, like you said, diva wise. I need some background artists.
This is funny.
Mike Jack could sing. He could sing the verse. I said Prince could play an instrument. Pat could rap the verse. Give me who's more themed. I'm trying to fit the theme. Don't worry. I got another. This is my second rapper. So to go with Pac, Mike Jack, Prince. My second rapper will be Nas, because I feel like he'll fit in the band that I set this course for. I feel like he'll fit in. I think he'll fit in perfectly. I think he'll make it work. So that's 4. So I got my 2 rappers, and I got my 2 performers. Now it's a matter of, do I want like a background singer, or do I want someone that also played instruments that to overall do it?
Okay.
So Nas, Pop, Mike Jack, Prince. Nas. That's not gonna fit. He's not gonna fit. Oh, fuck it. All right, this is my 5, Bree.
All right.
Because I feel like for 4 to 5, certain themes it'll work, but this will be my 5. Tupac, Michael Jackson, Prince, Nas, Bob Marley. That would be my 5. I think that 5 could work. If I put all 5 together, I think I could get a hit album, a hit single, and an album out. That 5. Tell me how you really feel about my 5, Bree.
I think your 5 needs help. I think.
Out of my 5, what you think is the worst part of my 5?
I think you didn't put no thought in that.
No, I didn't put in depth thought in that. I just thought of what I wanted to hear, not more of how it will blend and be put together, just what I wanted to hear. So that's why I came out with the first 3 artists. You went with what you wanted to hear and what you felt will fit best.
No, I didn't go with what I wanted to hear. No,
kudos to you. I
went straight to that.
I went to straight that. But I think my 5 could fit. My 5 could fit. I think they can work. I think they can work it out.
Ooh, I think Bob Marley was a good choice. And Michael Jackson. I don't understand your fit, because if they a band that has to work together, I just don't see that happening.
I think
you have too many. The problem with your list is you have too many solo artists.
well, you're saying too much alphas, too much like
right.
top dog.
You ain't got
like,
no girl. You ain't got no female singer in that whole damn shit. So like, there's no ass shaking. There's no titty popping. Nothing. Like you ain't got nothing in there. Like this shit is just whack.
I don't think that 5 would. That's the approach of the 5 I put together is ass shaking titty pop. I think it's more of.
And how far you think your 5 gonna go?
I feel like the 5 is gonna touch people on a different level because it's gonna be
get out of here.
It's gonna be conscious music. Them together.
My whole group is a conscious music, but yet Beyonce can still shake her ass in the conscious way. You never seen Formation? Formation is her shaking her ass, but she's still preaching about fucking black rights.
I understand. I understand that. And 5 is
don't get mad at my list because you.
I'm
didn't
not
think
mad at
of
your list. I like your list. I like your list.
You didn't think of a woman because you. I don't know why you didn't think of. I
could have just threw any woman in there, but I didn't want to.
You can't just throw any woman in there. That's your problem. That's your problem. How you gonna just throw a woman into that? First of all, that mix right there, Prince. I was gonna say something.
Oh my God. But
may he rest in peace. I'm sorry. I was gonna say something. But your list is all over the place. You didn't think about your list. See, when I saw this question, I'm like, oh, I know what direction I want to go in. So I'm gonna think of the people I know would hit the mark. You didn't think of a list. You thought of your favorite people.
I did. I thought my favorite people. Yeah, that's
not always your favorite people. You can't just always throw favorite people in that shit.
I just want to hear what I want to hear.
But it's not for you. The person said if you can make a band, it's not what you want to hear personally. It's what people will want to hear. That's the problem with your list. It's what Johnny wants to hear.
People want to hear.
People don't want to hear that shit. Nobody want to hear that shit.
Nobody
want to hear Tupac, Michael Jackson, the Prince, right? Because he's the Prince. And who else you said? You said Nas. Who the fuck want to hear that? That's a good combination. That just sounds like a whole mess. And then you threw Bob Marley in there. How dare you? You just made a whole mess out of that group.
I feel like
one is a whole.
I think it balanced it out.
Jamaican. What are you? What?
I think it balanced it out.
With whom?
I'm talking about as all right. You're going by the sound. I'm going by the content of the music. I think he balances it out.
How he going? And then you said you getting a drummer. Bob Marley ain't no drummer.
No, obviously no. I was gonna actually pick an actual musician or drummer, but I didn't go that route.
I thought, you know what I thought you was gonna go? I thought you were gonna go Alicia Keys. I really did. I thought if you threw Alicia Keys in there, I thought maybe that would bring out something in the whole band. You get what I'm saying? Like when you said I'm looking for,
she definitely would have fit.
Right, but see, you wasn't thinking. You not thinking. That's the problem. You were just thinking people because you were just thinking people you like. But when I heard you say musician, I'm thinking, yo, he's gonna throw Alicia Keys in there. Who wouldn't want Alicia Keys in their band?
Of course.
She's a
female. You didn't put her in your band?
Because she don't go with my band.
You didn't put her in your band?
Because I already got a female in my band.
I'm not gonna lie. I could easily, even though I still think he fits. Even though I still think he fits with the 5, I could easily slide Nas out and replace him with Alicia Keys.
Why are you taking Nas out and not the Prince? I'm so confused.
Why would I take Prince out?
Why are you sticking with the Prince? Because he don't fit in the damn band.
He's all right, because he's a little obviously he's a little different, but I'm
so confused.
I think
Kerry, what you did was you made me look at Johnny as a different view, because how the hell you don't take out the Prince, but you take out Nas?
Keep one rapper. For the fact I'm gonna keep one rapper.
Who's the other rapper?
Tupac.
Oh.
Yeah, I took it out to keep one rapper.
Michael Jackson working with Tupac.
I think they will work together.
Oh, okay.
You know why wouldn't they work together?
Oh, okay.
Listen,
guys, we're gonna put up another poll once this video comes out of which group was better, which band was better.
Listen.
And I mean, let the people talk.
What would I? listen. What I say is, I loved your approach on how you picked your band.
Right, you didn't put no approach to it.
I did. I took my approach. I told you my approach. You just don't agree with my approach.
Dude, all you said was you chose people you like.
Yes.
The person didn't say choose a band that you like.
True.
It said choose a band, dead or alive. The whole point of putting this band together for me is to make money. No, your band wouldn't make you money. Nah,
my band gonna make money.
All right, guys, I'm done.
Listen, I'll give it to you. Yeah, I liked your answer.
Because it was a better answer.
But
the people in my group is actually banging.
But
I don't know what people doing.
I still love my answer, and I think my answer was dope. It's just different. It's just I think it'll be able to be worked on. I think that 5 I selected will be able to work on. They'll be able to work. See, realistically, what I was gonna do, I was just gonna do a rap super group and just pick 5 rappers and throw them in the mix.
I'd rather you had done that. Let's hear your rap super group.
I was gonna do that, but
let's hear your rap super group. I think we might go with that. Let me hear your rap super group. Come on, hurry up.
Rap super group. I was definitely gonna put Pac in it.
Okay.
Definitely gonna put Pac on it. Rap super group. Pac. I'm gonna put Pac, Jay. It's rap. Word. Pac, Jay. And for the hook, even though he's not a rapper, for the hook, he was gonna be put on part. Nate Dogg's gonna be on the hook.
Okay. So
I was gonna have Pac, Jay, Nate Dogg. That's 3. Now
your 4th.
Other verses. I'm gonna throw J. Cole on that.
Okay.
And give me Kendrick with that rap super group right there.
And see, you should have went with a rap super group because that shit makes more sense than what you did before.
That would have been it.
What you did before?
I went with 2 older artists, 2 younger artists, and then Nate Dogg for the hook. That was gonna be my original 5. But
you should have done that.
I went the other route.
You should have went the other route.
Listen, I told you, I thought about it. I thought of what I wanted to hear. And also with the other 5 I chose is something that I would love to hear. That's how I approached it. What I wanted to hear. My bad. It was for the world, but I chose what I wanted to hear. And with that, that's a wrap on this brand new episode of another Shitty Opinion podcast. It's your boy John, my co-host Bree, and we are out.